Welcome back to another episode of the Know Your Power podcast. I am your host, Juliarene, and today, guys, it's going to be a solo episode. Not because Kendall can't be here, but because my life has been a little crazy. But kind of not at the same time. So I'll kind of go into everything in a little bit, but really this whole episode is just to kind of like update you guys on what's going on and like my mindset behind the podcast and like my content and like just my life in general. Like so many things have shifted mentally for me these past couple of months. And I just wanted to share it all with you and kind of tell you where my head is at and where I plan to take the brand and just myself and how I want to bring you guys along with it as well. So today I'm just going to be by myself because we're actually filming on a day that I wouldn't normally film the podcast. And that is because tomorrow I'm leaving to Utah with Zach because we are going to do another one of those Journey to Nobody retreats. I've done them. We've talked about it a lot on the podcast before, and Zach helps run them. And we are doing one in Utah. So I'm going to be gone from like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and come back Monday. And Monday we are starting something big and something new. But I'll get into that after my little mini rant now that I want to talk about. First of all, I want to just talk about the podcast with you guys because I know in a previous episode, Kendall and I talked about this together, but I just have been missing the aspect of the podcast that makes us feel so connected and makes us feel like friends. I mean, you heard me talk about it in a previous episode, but I am finally realizing like what actually happened. And when we talked about it, Kendall and I together in the previous episode, what we were talking about is how we listen to other podcasts, and the reason that you like fall in love with podcasts or you fall in love with like following other people's lives is because you feel connected to them in some sort of way, you know? And like some of you who are listening to this are either bodybuilders and we connect in that way, or you just love fitness and we connect in that way, or mental health or whatever, we connect in some sort of way. So that's why you're here. And along the way, I just got caught up in thinking that everybody always needed something new, something big, like a guest and this and that. And that's always been my downfall, is that I do too much and then I forget that the real reason that people are here is because they're here for me, and they're here for Kendall, and they're here for our friendship that we share together and the things that we share with you guys online. And I don't know what's wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me, but like, I don't know why I keep forgetting. That's what I'm trying to get at. I keep forgetting that is the reason why social media exists, is so that you can connect with people that you wouldn't normally connect with. And I forget that is the root to why you guys are here listening to this podcast, why you might be listening to us on the YouTube channel. And I just need to like bang it into my head that is the reason. And look, even to drive it home, I put a poll on our podcast Instagram. Follow us at Know Your Power Podcast Instagram. I'm pretty sure that's right. Know Your Power Podcast. Yeah. And you guys, I literally put on there a poll of like, what kind of podcasts you want to see or do you like the most? And it was Mindset Mondays. And then it was guests. And then it was just Julia and Kendall. And it was like an overwhelming amount just wanted to hear me and Kendall. And look, that is the direction that this podcast is going to go. That is where we started at. That was the root. And along the way, I just got caught up in thinking that you guys always needed something new, like a guest and a story and this and that. And just sometimes realizing that you guys just don't, like, you just want to hear us farting around. You know, we care about this industry so much. We care about bodybuilding. We know the impact that health and fitness and mindset combined have on us. And I know what it's done for me, and I know what it's done for other people. And that's what we need to share. We're still going to have guests. Don't get me wrong. It's just not going to be an overwhelming amount of guests. So, we plan to have guests still on, but we want to come back to it just feeling like we're friends again. You know, I I feel like I lost the connection with people that are listening, people that are following, because I just lost connection with myself. And that's typically what, what ends up happening. But this is really just trying to update you guys on like what's going on. So that's first off, that's where we're going with the podcast. And I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. I know that this is what feels intuitively right to me, and you guys even said this is what you wanted, so we're gonna do it. And then secondly, I took the entire month off of social media, and it was like the best thing ever. Like the best thing ever. I mean, social media can be so great. Like you're listening to a podcast right now. That is a part of social media. You get to meet people and see people and be entertained by people that you can't see on the day-to-day. And I have never been somebody that has wanted to be, I don't know, what's the word? I never wanted to let social media have such a toll on me as I let it, but inevitably, like, social media is a tool, and we can use it how we want to use it. We can either have it negatively impact us, or it can positively impact us. Like, you can be listening to something that can really pump you up and get your mindset right and like get you to want to do great things. And then you can also be listening to stuff that really just like brings you down. Like, it could be either way. And I would say it was about 50% of social media was like dragging me down and making me feel like, ugh, like I don't really want to do this. And then the other half of it was just I wasn't feeling passionate about the content that I was creating. And when that happens, like when I'm not passionate about what I'm doing, it is very clear on the other end of it. The listeners might not be feeling the passion. The people that watch the YouTube videos might not be feeling it. You can tell through content. And I know that like when I'm in that flow state, like you guys just know that feeling when you're just like in flow and like you're not forcing anything. It just kind of like happens. You know what I mean? Ugh, I wish I can explain it a little bit better, but if you're listening, you probably know what I'm talking about. But I wasn't in that flow state, and I wasn't creating stuff that was like really meaningful to me. I was trying to change and convert and to be something that I wasn't. And that's not what has gotten me to this point. What has gotten me to this point has been being just me. And if people don't like it, then they fall off, and that's okay. And that is okay. We are not going to be everybody's cup of tea. We just aren't. Like, trust me, there's a lot of people I'm not their cup of tea. Like, it's so crazy. I get some of the funniest like YouTube comments where it's like, she's so pretty, but she's so annoying. And I'm like, yeah, I am annoying. And like, I got too caught up in like thinking I needed to do it a certain way. And also just like the grind of it all. Like I have been pushing for an entire year. And I had so much crap like happen in a year, like with Zach and I broke up. I had some family things going on, like big things. I moved out, and then Zach and I got back together, and then, prep and all of these things. And I just like blew over it. I was like, girl, you're fine. None of that matters. Don't sit there and process any of it. Just keep working. And I don't know if you guys are listening to this and you're similar to me, where it's like, if you're not going and working and striving and grinding like that, you think that you're a failure. You think that like nothing that you do is ever enough. So I was even telling Kendall this, that when I was going through the breakup with Zach, it was really, really hard. I love him. He's my best friend. Like we just went on the most incredible vacation together. He's my best friend. I could be oh my God, I don't want to cry. I could be 100% just me with him. It like all the goofiness, all the quirkiness, like just messy bun, giant t-shirt, no bra, like no makeup. He's my best friend, and it was really hard that breakup, and we're back together and we're better than we've ever been. But what did I do during that breakup? I was like, let's start a podcast. And look, the podcast, it was the best decision I ever made. Like, it was, I love that we do this, and I love that we can connect with each other through the magic of the audio. But instead of like processing the hurt from us breaking up, I was like, let's do a new thing. Let's start a new venture, and I'll just be busy until I'm over it. And whoever you are across these audio waves, you're probably like, crap, I've done that before. And look, it's like you can get away with doing that for such a long time. You can get away with just using work and fitness and all of these things that society tell us are great. But we also use these things to cover up things that are going on under the surface. Like, under the surface, I was going through a breakup and it was really hard. But on top of that, it was, oh, let's start a new business and do a podcast, and it'll look okay and you'll look like you're fine, you know? And then like society just accepts that because like, at least I'm like going for something, but I'm dying inside, you know? I'm not anymore. I feel fine. But that's just another thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, you know? I'm starting to realize just how much pressure I've put on myself these past couple of years to just keep going and going and going, and like banging my head into the wall and forcing things to happen when they're not supposed to happen. And look, it's gotten me to a certain point of success, but I can't continue the rest of my life working this way because I'm literally going to run myself into the ground. And one thing that made me realize that I was doing this to myself is I was really struggling one day. And I was looking back at all these old journals of me, and I saw a pattern in the journals. And it was almost like every year, the same thing happened to me. Every year, I had a really, really low point, and it was always around the same time. Like, it was always very similar. And I was like, okay, Julia, quit being such an idiot and quit letting this happen over and over and over to you. Like, look, the pattern is right here. It's in front of your face. And that's the thing about people is like we keep letting the same thing happen to us over and over and again and trying to get a different result. That's literally, what is that, the definition of psycho, being psycho? I think so. Maybe. I don't know. Who cares? You know what I'm talking about. But I saw that and I was like, Julia, come on, like the same thing has happened to you every single year. So we got to do something different. Like something has to change. So I was like, fine, I'm not going to go on social media this month. I'm going to tell my sponsors that I just can't. Like I'm not doing okay. I'm not doing well mentally. I need to take this break for myself to figure out how I won't let this pattern cripple me anymore. And that it just came down to quit overworking yourself, quit stressing about every little thing, quit forcing things to happen when they're not supposed to happen. And you don't have to be grinding, and it doesn't have to be hard and grueling for you to be successful. You can just be. You could just be where your feet are planted and just be you. And that's enough. Crazy, isn't it? So going into the next segment of like what's going on is I got to a point where like I literally was having this like blinding pain in my side, and I was like organizing my pillows while I had the blinding pain. So I'm like holding the blinding pain, I'm organizing my pillows, and Zach's like, look at you. He's like, you have like a crippling pain in your side and you're still trying to clean and work and do things. And he's like, we need a vacation. And I was like, you're right. We're crazy. What is going on? And we took a vacation to the Virgin Islands, and we literally got back, oh my God, like 2 days ago. It was so incredible. It was just like we went from a Wednesday to a Sunday, and we promised each other. We literally had to make a promise that we weren't going to work. And I was already not on social media. I haven't been checking like DMs. I haven't been posting or anything. And it was so just relaxing, not even thinking about it. Literally just like waking up and not thinking about what's happening next. What are we doing next? Just like being and just doing and not stressing about, I don't know, having to be anything that I didn't want to be or do anything that I didn't want to do. And I literally looked at Zach and I was like, hey, I think this is why people take vacations, you know? There's this thing called relaxing. And believe it or not, it actually helps with your mental health. Crazy, right? And Zach's like, you're insane. I'm like, I know. But it really did help. And like, tomorrow we're going on another like kind of vacation to do the like retreat. Zach's going to be actually working, and for me it'll still be time to like chill, because Monday the 3rd, April 3rd, so a couple days before you guys are listening to this, you'll be listening to this, I believe, a couple days after that. But we're starting prep, guys. We're starting prep, 5-month prep, and the goal to be qualified for the Olympia. And I cannot go into this prep doing it the way that I've been doing it, because I keep just running myself into the ground. And this prep is going to be different. The things that I want to do differently with my mental health and with my physical, so that I can go into this competition season with less stress, with less anxiety. Look, it's going to come. Like, if any of you guys are bodybuilders, you're like, okay, Julia, like, it's going to come anyways. It will. But most of the stress and anxiety is all stuff that I do to myself. So my, I guess, philosophy going into this prep is like, how can I still work hard physically in my business and put the best package and best face and best mindset forward without having to risk my mental health? That's what I want to say. How can I do all of those things without risking my mental health? And that's literally just being present through all the things, you know, all of the feels, all the highs, all the lows, without having to like stress about like, what are we doing next? Where are we going next? Go, go, go. Or think about like maybe mistakes that I made or things in the past. Because if we're thinking so far in the future, then we're anxious and we're like, oh, when's the show date? What are we doing? Oh my God, what are we wearing? And if we think too much in the past, you're like, crap, I didn't go as hard on that. I didn't, you know, I shouldn't have ate that. I shouldn't have done that. Then you're depressed and you're sad. It's like, I don't want to feel either of those things. So if I can just stay where my feet are planted, like right now, I'm doing this podcast. I'm with you. I'm here with you. And there's nothing else that's going on in my mind. And usually it's like my mind is racing. I'm like, what are we doing next? Where are we going? Did I sound okay? Like, but I'm done with that. You know, it's still going to pop up because I'm human, but I'm done trying to be something that I'm not. And that's the whole theme of this new series that we're going into on YouTube. It's going to be different than anything that we've ever done before. My videographer, Ian, who also edits the podcast that you're listening to, he's my number one guy, one of my best friends. He's going to be documenting the whole journey. And it's going to be and look like something that you've never seen before. And we are going to put so much heart, so much effort, so much real, so much raw into this series that I hope that you get out of it everything that I want you to and everything that I'm going to get out of it, because doing these things helps me more than you know. And I know that it helps us connect to each other in a way that just fills me up, honestly. I know that I love what I do so much, and I just lost that for a little bit. I lost why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it was because I was forcing myself to do and be and create things that I wasn't passionate about. And after just taking time to realign like what really matters to me, I am so excited about this new chapter that we're going into. You know, I'm ready to start prep. I'm ready to bring you guys along with me no matter what happens. And it's go time, guys. It's go time. You know, I'm going in with this new mindset around it. I don't want to be wrapped up in the identity of I am just a bodybuilder and that is the only thing I can offer the world, because I can offer so much more than that. And we're going to be on this journey together, you know? This is just the beginning of me realizing like all of these things. Like I knew it was bubbling up inside, but it just took a month of literally blocking out everything to figure out what was actually going on. And what I've learned from this time, just minimizing my workload and being off social media to just get clear and stop letting all the noise in, because there's so much noise that we let into our system daily. Whether it's like a podcast, whether it's the TV in the background, whether it's other people's conversations around us, the news is on, we get a notification on our phone. There's so many things that are just stealing our attention and we don't know it, but it could be changing our mood without us realizing it. And I'm just going to minimize all of that and really only input things that I want to input into my life that are going to be positive. So that's what's been going on with me. Number one, Kendall and I are going to shift back to our core values and like us being here together and being friends over the audio waves and the video waves if you're watching. And then secondly, like my new, like just taking time off of social media. If social media is, you could tell that when you get on it, you're feeling some type of way. I'm telling you, get off of it for at least a little bit of time and it will change your life. Like now, I don't even really look at my phone. Like I was that person that checked it without even noticing. And now I'm just like, meh, whatever, you know? And third, we're starting prep, guys. So there's going to be new content on the YouTube channel, new content here on the podcast, and I'm so excited to do all of this with you. And feel free to reach out to me in any type of way. I'm always going to be here for you. And as always, I love you all so much, and you are more powerful.